All right, so as we move forward with our professional portfolio unit, we've worked on our resumes. Should be pretty close to being done with those. We have got our references on our resume. Hopefully, you have three by this point. If not, you need to get that taken care of. And we've written cover letters. And if you don't have that quite done, you have everything that you need in Google Classroom to get that done. And so we need to have that done as well. So today we're going to start talking about job applications. You won't actually start working on them today. So you do not need to grab a packet or anything like that. Today is just about kind of learning some of the important parts about them for when we start working on it next class. Okay. So be for the sake of the video, I won't worry about shoulder partner things. But it says, what is the important about appearance and timing? So before you even go get the application, all right, you're just planning to go after school today, maybe go pick up an application. Here are a few things that I want you to think about. First, shower, fix your hair, have good hygiene. Okay, so look good. Um, that's something that some of you would probably think, yeah, no kidding. But we have some students that probably wouldn't really think about that. Even though it's not for an interview, this is your first opportunity to make a good first impression on that business, maybe on that manager. And if you go in not showered, not looking very good, maybe you had weights and you haven't showered yet, so you don't smell very good, and whatever that looks like, that's not the first impression that you want to make. So look good, dress nicely, practice what you're going to say. Even though it's once again not for an interview, you'll likely be nervous just asking for the application. And so you want to, I always encourage kids to, in the mirror before you go, to practice what you're going to say. Hi, my name is Michael, and I am interested in getting a job application today. Or can I have a job application? Are you hiring and can I get an application? Whatever you're going to say, practice saying it. That way you don't start stuttering over your words and then that first impression doesn't go like you want it to. Okay. And then plan on going at an appropriate time. So if like you're going to apply at Olive Garden, you probably wouldn't want to go between 11 and 1 and 5 and 7 on any given day. Those are their busy times during lunch and dinner. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to see you. They don't want any extra work. They are busy. Okay. So try to go during a time where you can make a good first impression and that they are not really busy. Okay. What is important about how you fill out the application? So the first thing is handwriting. Okay. Um, Everybody knows when you look at that B, right? This one over here is much more pleasing to the eye to look at. Okay. This is not fun to look at. It kind of hurts your brain a little bit to look at that. So the handwriting piece on an application doesn't make you a better employee. It doesn't make you a better candidate, a harder worker, anything like that. But it will get noticed first. Okay. Just because people want to look at good handwriting before they look at bad handwriting. So if you have great handwriting, good, use that to your advantage. If you don't, you need to take your time and make it look closer to B than to A. So neatness counts, um, both with your handwriting and with what the application actually looks like, meaning that you don't fold it up, crumple it up. It doesn't have food stains on it, it's torn, anything like that. Be accurate. So we want to make sure that you read all the instructions and fill out the application the way that it's supposed to be done. Proper spelling, grammar, and punctuation, and then return it in a timely manner. This is always a discussion I have with freshmen because you guys can't drive. Is it doesn't look good for you to go get an application and then bring it back like a couple weeks later. Okay. And tell them, sorry, I couldn't get this back because I didn't have a ride to bring it in. Okay. You oftentimes maybe don't have a lot of control over your ride situation. But if you are telling an employer that you didn't have a ride to bring the application in, what else are you telling them as a potential employee? You're telling them that you won't have a ride to get to work either. And so you're going to be late or miss your shifts. And so you need to figure out a way to get it turned back in a timely manner within 2 to 3 days. Or if whoever gave you the ride there, if you walked, what I would do is just ask them if you can fill it out while you're there, right? If it's Olive Garden, just ask them, do you mind if I sit down at a table and I just fill this out while I'm here? Okay, that sort of thing. Some things that you will not do. So you'll never write in pencil or any color of ink that's not blue or black. All right. So on a real job application for a real job that you're applying for, you will only use blue or black ink. On the packets that we'll start working on next class, that's an assignment for a class, right? We're not going to turn those into those actual businesses. So on those, I don't mind if you use pencil. That would be fine since it's a school assignment, or blue or black ink. But on a real application in the real world, blue or black ink's your only option. If you make a mistake, do not scribble out words and like just go back and forth and scribble it out. You're either going to use whiteout, excuse me, or you'll put a single strike, a single line through where you messed up. Okay. We don't leave areas blank. We'll put NA, meaning it does not apply. And then you can't lie about anything. Okay. You got to be honest with everything you do. So when you go to turn back in that job application, here are some things that you should have with you. Your application, right? Filled out, signed, neat, ready to go. Your updated resume, a copy of your resume printed and ready to go. Make sure it's all accurate. Your references are on your resume. So the reason I have that there is at this point, if you're applying, I would have already told my references, hey, just giving you a heads up that I'm applying to Olive Garden, so you might be getting a phone call or email. Okay, so make sure they know. And then a cover letter. For the jobs that high school kids are applying for, you're not going to need to write a cover letter. It's not going to be required. However, I'm going to tell you, you need to write a cover letter. And here's why. If you're applying for a job and there's 5 kids that apply and you're the only one that writes a cover letter, when you go back to that conversation we had about resumes with the goal is to get the first phone call for the first interview, if you're the only applicant that turned in a cover letter, I can almost guarantee you're getting the first phone call. Okay. Almost guarantee it. So spend a little time and write a cover letter. It will look very good on you. Okay. And it's good practice. All right. So be neat and organized. Okay. This is kind of just some overall things here. Handwriting counts. Whether you think it's fair or not that handwriting counts, nobody cares if you think it's fair. It's the just the reality of it, okay? And handwriting matters, so you need to do your very best. You need to fill out the application completely. Don't leave anything blank. Be honest and accurate. We've talked about those differences before. You need to be honest, making sure you're not lying. You need to be accurate, making sure you don't make mistakes. Give worthwhile availability. So kind of what that would look like here is as a high school kid, the times that you can work are weeknights and then weekends. So you need to give a realistic availability of when you can actually work, but you got to be able to work some weekends and nights, even though you'd prefer not to. That's the time that you can earn money. And then turn it back in a timely manner. So when I say that we'll use NA, there's an important distinction here. If I've never had a job before, and I'm filling out an application for work history. I'm not going to put NA in every single box here. This is wrong. Okay. We don't want NA plastered all over our application 27 times for them to look at. Just put it one time. Okay. Put it right here in the name and address of employer. Okay. Or the company name, whatever it is. Put NA, and that tells them that nothing else applies. Okay. So that is the right way of doing it. Do not do it this way. I will count that wrong. Okay. That is wrong. Don't do it that way. This is the right way. All right. Your availability. So when you are available to work, let's say that on Mondays, I'm out for the basketball team, and so I can't come to work until 6:30 p.m. Oops. And you always actually write AM or PM. Don't assume that they know, okay? And you would be writing this in pencil or in pen or blue or black ink, okay? But I'm going to type it in here. Maybe I need to be done by 8:30 p.m. Okay. And then maybe on Tuesday nights are usually my game nights, so I'm not available to work those. So I'm going to put NA. I don't leave it blank. Probably don't need to put it here. If I can't start work, then obviously I can't end work. Okay. So I'm good there. Maybe I have church group on Wednesdays. I can work the same hours on this one. So I do that. Parents want me off by 8:30 because I have school. On Fridays after practice, and maybe I can work later that night because I don't have school. On the weekends, if you're available all day, okay, you can put specific hours. You can put 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. or whatever. But if you're just available anytime on the weekend, I would just put open to close. That does not mean they're going to schedule you necessarily for 14 hours open to close. It means anytime within the time that the store opens or they have the first person come in to the last person that leaves that you're available to work. And then maybe on Sunday, you have church, so you can't come until 1 p.m. And then you need to be off by 8 p.m. because you have school the next morning. Okay. So something like that would be great availability for a high school kid. Okay. Um, the important thing with availability, if you are out for a sport or something and you can't work a lot during the week, right? Like if you guys aren't out for sports, you could probably get to work by 4:30, right? But if you're out for a sport and you can't get there till 6 or 6:30, and you got to be able to actually work, right? They're not just going to hire you to work one shift a week from 6:30 to 8:30. That's not worth their time. So you got to have some real availability, okay, to where you can actually benefit the company, okay? So you got to kind of balance that. And then lastly, signature. Okay, so for most freshmen, most high school kids, they can't write in cursive. Okay, your signature needs to be in cursive. So this right here is not a signature. That is printing your name. Okay, this right here is not a signature. That is scribbling on a piece of paper. Okay, this is kind of what a signature would look like, right? It's cursive. It's probably not going to look that neat. Um, I have a signature. The way that I sign my name, it looks the same every time. I've signed it thousands upon thousands of times in my life, and it looks about the same every single time. It doesn't look quite this nice, but you can tell it says Michael Lynn. It definitely doesn't look like that. Okay. So if you already know how to sign your name and it looks like this, okay, change it because I'm not going to accept that as a signature. That's not a signature. Okay. When you get older, you have to have a signature that's like a legal signature. So when you sign a check or when you sign your kids up for daycare and you take out an insurance policy or you buy a house or you buy a car, you get a cell phone, you have to sign for all those things and it needs to look the same every time. Okay. And they need to see that it was you that signed it and it doesn't look like a 4-year-old scribbled on there. Okay. So if it looks like this, change it. If you don't know how to write your name in cursive and make a signature, we'll work on that when we need it here in the next couple of class periods. Okay. But you will need a signature. So that's kind of all the information I need you to have regarding important information around job applications. Next time in class, we will start actually working on the job application. Okay. Thanks, guys.